So we put up Funtastic International in the year 2000. And during those days, I had my first child. And when I went shopping, I felt that there was a void, kulang talaga, yung available sa market for kids. And so I said, I'm sure it's going to be a fun business to get into products for kids. And so that's how it started. We started first on regular generic toys, stuff that you would see everywhere. And then we realized that we needed to be different. So as we moved forward in our business, our target was really to focus on the B, C, D, and E market. There was already a lot of brands, international brands that were servicing the A market. And so we felt na, para naman yung masa natin na that typical Pinoy. We wanted them to experience great product at very low and affordable prices. So that's been the driving force for our company up to today. Na pag may lalabas kaming produkto, it has to be affordable for the regular Filipino. And then so as we went along, we went from toys to bags to shoes to accessories. And then in the year 2007, we set up a brand called Cool Kids. We realized after 7 years in business, nakakabenta nga kami, pero parang may kulang, di ba? Parang the social side of our existence was missing. And we said we had to figure out how do we give back to country and to community. And yeah, ang daming companies ngayon na they get involved in CSR projects, but parang okay, CSR project, nagbigay ka ng donation, big deal. To me, it's not sustainable because it's a dole out, right? When you give dole outs to communities, they really just rely on coming to you again for another dole out. So when we give, we try to make sure it is sustainable, right? So we will help in community projects. We'll maybe work and donate homes in Sulu, for example, where the poorest of the poor can start living in proper conditions. We'll work on livelihood projects. So that's the stuff that we work on. Now, but more than that, we realized in 2007 the effect that our generation has had on the environment. And we felt that we had a responsibility as a responsible company to figure out and reach out to the kids, which is the tomorrow's generation, that they needed to take care of the planet. So we are lucky being involved in the kids business that we have immediate and direct access to these children, through our products. So why not use our products to communicate this to these kids? And so that's how Cool Kids was born. So Cool Kids is represented by Coco and Kimmy, which you see over there. The Coco and Kimmy are twins, no? They are brother and sister, and they lead the pack of Cool Kids characters. The other characters that you see on the wall are on display and in the posts. These are our own created characters in the Philippines, no? So we don't really need to count on any of the international characters because we have our own characters. Each of these characters have their own message in care for the environment. So you will have fairies that will teach replanting. You will have princesses that will advocate for cleanliness. You will have glamorous girls that will teach kids how to recycle. You will have cars that fight smoke belchers, robots that fight aliens that exploit natural resources of the earth. So may kanya-kanya silang kwento, no? So para pagdating sa bata, medyo makaka-relate sila. And they make these characters like their friends and their superheroes. But the concept and the theme is always these heroes teach them and partner with them to care for the environment. So yun yung brand concept. When we launched that on our character school bags that you see on the far end over there. And again, pricing-wise, we're practically half the price of the big brands and the international brands. And we're right where we want it to be, you know. And the market has accepted it wholeheartedly. They're of course they like the price, they like the design. We design everything ourselves in the Philippines. In 2013, in 2007, it was bags. Then we did shoes, we did accessories, jewelry. And lahat ng packaging ng mga yan has environmental tips that kids can actually read and learn from. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to very slowly cultivate in the minds of the kids that they need to be environmentally conscious. They need to take care of the planet. Hindi mo naman kasi pwedeng madaliin yan sa bata, eh, di ba? You gotta very slowly inject that into their mindset. In 2013, we said, okay, let's now take this advocacy to toys. Since we were already doing toys, but toys was more challenging on how to do it. So we started muna with baby toys, and that's Baby Bliss that you see at the far end on my left. And Baby Bliss is a beautiful line of baby toys that is reviewed by the Philippines' top child psychologist, Dr. Anna Treichler. So every toy that we bring into the market is reviewed by her. We have created a baby development guide. That development guide is what she uses in determining, itong toy na to is for fine motor, is for ganyan, is for ganyan. So when mothers buy the toy, they'll know, if I buy this toy, this is the aspects of growth that this toy will address. In the same packaging, we also have environmental tips naman for the mom because we cannot communicate with babies, right? So we target naman the moms as far as the story and the learning is concerned. Baby Bliss is today a top baby brand. We haven't really worked hard on marketing it, really. That's why maybe some of you may not even be aware. But that's already in the pipeline. We're going to start actively marketing these brands. So after our success with Baby Bliss, we said, okay, so what's the next category? So last year, we came up with Creadough by Cool Kids and Zigo by Cool Kids. Creadough is a dough-based toy, while Zigo is blocks. Again, price-wise, we're cheaper than the international brands. We like to think that we're much better. We look better, we smell better as far as the dough is concerned. In the case of Zigo, we have even blocks that are radio control cars that the kid can assemble. So we like to really be very creative. No? We have blocks that are only 39 pesos retail that a kid can buy, or a mom can walk into a supermarket and buy a box of different blocks and give a kid one every day as pasalubong. And when the kid has 16 of those, he can make a big one. So there's learning as well. Plus, it's very affordable. That's where we are now as a company. We're very socially conscious. As far as our own people are concerned, we make sure that we have happy people working for us, and they work in an environment that they're comfortable in. We make sure that we not only follow laws, but we go far and above what the law requires as far as keeping our people happy. And so that's what Funtastic International, Cool Kids, and its different brands under it is all about. That's what we do.
Cool company and cool employees.
Thank you so much.
So what like sample for the special benefits for the employees?
We pay the tuition for their kids.
Wow.
So there was a incident a couple of years ago where a brand new driver wanted to make an appointment with me, and I was abroad, and I have an open door policy, and he went to my assistant and said, no, he went first to HR to borrow money. He had 5 kids and he had no money for tuition, and HR said, we don't lend money for tuition. We will help if it's a medical emergency, but for tuition, wala kaming ganon. Buti na lang, hindi siya tumigil. He went to my assistant and said, pwede bang makausap si boss? And I was abroad, so I got a text and I said, yes, of course. When you get a request from someone at that level of the organization, there will be employers that will just completely ignore it. In my case, I said, no, there's gotta be something. So, parang maglakas loob siya to make an appointment. So I met with him pagbalik ko. That was the first thing I did. And I saw in this man's eyes real fear. And sabi ko, teka muna, ano problema? Sabi niya, boss, hindi ako takot sa'yo. Pero takot ako pag uwi ko sa asawa ko kasi susumbatan na naman ako ng asawa ko. And araw-araw na ako sinusumbatan ng hirap ng buhay. Ano bang problema? Boss, 5 anak ko. And wala akong pambayad ng tuition. Magbaback to school na. And hindi ko alam kung gagawin ko. Gusto ko naman pakamatay kasi parang wala akong kwentang tatay. Padre de pamilya. 6 na buwan na akong walang trabaho. Typical story, di ba? I mean, you hear that everywhere. Right? So, my brain started thinking and I go, ganon. Okay, sige, mag-iisip ako. So, akala niya reject. Malis siya ng office ko, nakatungo siya, depressed, umuwi. That very evening, I called all my supervisors and I said, I want a report tomorrow morning on my desk. I want the names of all the kids of our employees. I want to know where they study, whether it's public or private. I want to know how much tuition they pay for these kids. And I want it tomorrow morning. My supervisors thought I was crazy. And nababaliw na ata si boss. Parang ang dami-dami natin ginagawa. Ba't mo kami ginugulo tungkol dyan, di ba? So sabi ko, sometimes when you're on top, as president of a company, you get to see things that people underneath don't see. Kasi the higher you are, mas malaki ang scope ng view mo eh. Di ba? So sabi ko, basta, gawin nyo lang. And when I saw the figure the next morning and I saw how much they paid, I called everybody and I said, okay, if your kids study in public schools, we will pay 100% of what the cost is. And that's about, I think, 5,000 per kid, roughly. If your kid studies in private schools, hindi ko naman pwedeng bayaran lahat kasi baka naman padala sa Ateneo at Lasal yan. Mamatay naman ako. So sabi ko, whatever your salary is, we will give you 30% of your salary per child. So kung 5 anak mo at ang sweldo mo ay 30,000, kunwari, diba? We will give you 9,000 per kid, diba? To help you with your tuition and sending your kids to school. But I have conditions. My conditions to them is that I want to see the report cards of your kids. Again, we don't want dole outs. We don't want to be doling out to people and then the dad goes home and makes inom and gets drunk and doesn't care about the kid. Right? So we'll help you, but you help yourself and you make sure that your kids are getting grades that are at least 85, right? And awa naman ng Diyos. They are all, I mean, last year we had a couple of people that kids had flunking grades. We spoke to them. We said, sige, we'll still give it to you, but you got to make sure that you get involved in the education of your kid and be a responsible parent. So that's some of the things that we do. Aside from the typical health card benefits and stuff like that, we're now looking at. We have personal accident insurance for our employees. We're now looking at actually covering the property of our employees. So one of the things that we notice is the common Filipino is not insured. They're not insured for fire, for flood, for earthquake, for stuff like that. So we're speaking to our insurance companies and if we can come up with a group package and pay the premiums for all our employees. That way they don't need to worry pag nagbaha o pag nagkasunog, earthquake, they don't need to worry. Their properties are covered. So that's just some of the things that we do. We believe that charity begins at home. And if we don't have happy people, we want to become an employer of choice, right? Especially in the southern area. We'd like to believe that we already are an employer of choice. While we do all of these things for our employees, we are very progressive on how we think in terms of performance. So we really rate their performances, we monitor how they're doing, and we try to coach as much as possible for people to get better. And if they work well and they have great performance, then they get bonuses. Bonuses are tied to performance. That's pretty much how we do it.
Basically po lahat po ng materials na gamit kami in the Philippines or
No. Unfortunately, the manufacturing sector in the Philippines is weak. We've really lost it to China, and what we really export is our people. Diba? So we're more services oriented. So wala kang choice in this industry. The supplier is really China. Now, what we do for the differentiation is we design everything in the Philippines. So the intellectual property comes from here. We have our own offices in China. They monitor quality. They make sure everything is safe. Every toy that we carry passes through the Food and Drug Administration. We have a permit. It goes through a testing process. I'm sorry? They've passed European international standards for toys. So it's passed what you call EF1 testing and 7P testing. These are international testing standards that the Europeans use, and the Europeans are one of the strictest when it comes to safety for toys. So, pasado kami dyan.
When I see sold out, that certain product talaga sold out.
Okay, so what happens is we bring in, these are all the original samples that have come in, and then our buyers for back to school will start buying in January. Okay, maaga talaga kasi i-deliver pa namin yun sa store. So kung sold out, ibig sabihin wala na akong stock sa warehouse ko. Kumbaga ubos na sa amin. But you'll find it sa stores nila. We supply all major department stores nationwide.
Saan po location ng factory?
Dito rin, yung warehouse nandito. So all stocks are here, all pagdating ng goods galing abroad, dito namin nire-repack for the retailers nationwide.
How about yung mga to be released? It's it hidden somewhere before they put it here?
Yeah, it's not here yet. The to be released are the stuff that we're working on. So this is not yet final. That's something that will probably hit the showroom before our Christmas trade show. So we have 2 trade shows a year. One is in January for back to school and summer. We have another one in August for Christmas. So before August, nandito na yan.
The prices indicated on the products, is it the same sa
Yes.
department stores?
Yes. So the prices here are already the retail price.
Okay, retail price.
Kumita na kaming lahat dyan. Kumita na si department store, kumita na kami, kumita na yung China sa China. So we come up with a standard retail price for our product to make sure, kasi nga our objective is to keep it affordable. We don't want anybody jacking up the price or playing with the price. We really want to be able to offer affordable products to them.
Will I see these products in Divisoria? Or
No, we don't supply those. No,
But this is better quality than the
Oh, yeah.
other
Well,
clones.
I would be arrogant if I said yes,
Okay.
diba? But I mean, you can see for yourself. When we do our buying, when we do our choosing, we're very conscious that we do not look banqueta, right? So there are different qualities of toys when you go to China. There are different grades of plastic. So there is plastic that is recycled, right? And it's recycled plastic, and that's why it's cheap. But it's also very harmful to your health, right? So we don't touch stuff like that. We make sure we use grade A. Might be 10 pesos more at retail than the recycled one, but I think the Filipino deserves better.
You plan to go into electronics like tablets or Android?
You know, we've looked at it. Initially, when tablets were released, we got worried that might compete with the actual toy. It actually hasn't. I think the moms and parents they realize that kids cannot always be on their tablets. So it really complements the actual toy will still complement the tablet. And as far as the experience is concerned, when you play with a remote control car or you play with a game on a tablet, it's still a different experience.
Yes.
Diba? When you're able to mold something and make a burger out of dough, right? And play with a kitchen set, it's still different. So it doesn't become or, it's actually and. So the kid needs to have both, right? And parents realize that this is still better than getting them glued to their iPads or to their tablets all the time. So actually, what we've noticed, nag-grow pa nga eh. Nag-grow pa nga yung category. So, and what we do as compared to our competitors, we're very progressive in the way we think. You can go to China, you'll probably have access to 5 million toys at any given time to choose. We don't, the normal tendency is, oh, maganda to, pila. We don't do that. We use business intelligence very carefully, and we use data that we have accumulated over the last 10 years in deciding which product to buy. So, let's say I like something. The rule of thumb is, pag gusto ko, hindi ko bibilhin. Because chances are, yung gusto ko, hindi yun ang bibenta. Right?
How about solding your products online?
Okay, that is currently our weakness. That is really our weakness. We went online too soon. So if you look at our websites, no, this was put up in year 2000. Yung Funtastic was 2002. Yung Cool Kids 2007. At that time, nobody was still selling online. Nobody was marketing on Facebook. So to be honest, I'm not happy with my sites. I'm really not happy with it. So my project for this year is step one, before I go all out on social media in selling, or Agoda tuloy, Lazada. Lazada's already approached us to get on, and sabi ko, wait, step one muna, if I cannot drive the consumer to my website for him to understand what we do, I'm wasting my time. So we're speaking to some web developers. My target is hopefully in the next 3-4 months, I can redo my websites. When I've redone, I will hire my online marketer to then start working on social media. So we're gonna get there. We're preparing for it already.
So how about sports and music stuff? You also have
Like what sports? We have for kids.
basketball, like
We
small
have basketball
you have
sets.
naman.
We have basketball
How about
sets.
yung music na laruan lang na music?
Meron.
din.
Actually, musical toys is a top seller.
Oh?
You might not see it here because that's a Christmas category. Okay? So, pansinin
Maybe
mo,
next show pa.
pansinin mo, yung mga nasa harap dito is all summer and sports. Summer, sports, games, yun ang nasa harap. Yung mga nasa likod, yung mga natira naming Christmas na naka-display. No? But if you come here in August, you're gonna see all the categories na for Christmas. Yung summer naman ang pupunta sa likod.
Do you have an item or a toy product here that parang unique lang sa Funtastic na wala po sa ibang?
Marami. Practically, all our branded is just ours. Because we really developed that from zero. All our entire bag category, our accessory category, that's all ours.
So what's your top seller pala in
Oh,
all of
man.
your products? I mean, yung like what, like, at least the line. Which line?
Toys is still number one.
Not the backpacks.
Well, toys will be toys kasi toys sells all year round, right? The school backpacks is really a back-to-school item. Now, I failed to mention pala to you that if you look at that corner, you've got all the cool kids character bags, right? So, oh, by the way, my kids pala,